Although military life can be stressful, many families report developing stronger communication skills, deeper appreciation for the time together, and stronger family bonds. The strength of military families comes from resilience, community, adaptability, and a shared commitment to service. Welcome back. I'm Dorena Federici, and this is Let's Talk About Veterans, because their stories matter. I want you to meet in a great family that is just like what I just introduced to you. They're strong and committed to helping others, and I had the pleasure of meeting them a little more than a year ago when we brought the tribute wall here to Wethersfield. And a year ago, now I have dear friends. I will stand with them, as I know they will always be standing with me. So I'd like to welcome Lance Corporal Dave Williams, his wife Christina, and their son Rohe, who is a sophomore here in Wethersfield High School. And Christina, I'm going to start off with you. All right, so I want you to tell me a little bit about being a military wife. How was that for you?
So I actually met Dave when he came back from his first tour from Iraq, and that was in 2003. And we met, and we hit it off right away, and we fell in love. We got engaged on July 4th, which is very fitting, and with fireworks and everything. And then a little while after that, he got noticed that he was going to get shipped back out in 2004. And so he did with his unit, and that Motor 6T unit out of Providence got activated, don't correct me, but like between 6 and half a dozen times. Like it was between half a dozen times and a dozen times. So that unit got really hit hard. They were Motor T, they were transportation, and they were able to move a lot of things through Iraq and that region. So he went off, and we got married that summer quickly, kind of like back in the day.
Yeah, right.
And then I went to see him in San Diego, and when he left, I kind of took over like just the key network volunteer for Connecticut, because he was in Connecticut and he served in Providence. So I wanted to get involved with something. I was teaching, and I was like, I should really volunteer. So his first sergeant, whose name is Parisi, and since then he's passed, but he's like, you'd be great, so just do it. So I did the online course, and I was their Connecticut liaison, if you will.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Dave was overseas, and his family was here, and it was, it got busy around November time, Fallujah time, and I didn't hear from him too much. And it was hard, our first year married. But, we kind of just went through the year, and I had to contact some families when their Marines got hurt, so that was hard, but I was happy to do that and serve a little bit at home. And then he came home in 2005, and then became an officer and still served. So then he went back off to the police academy. So that's all I've known is just that service. And so as a wife, either you're good with it or you're not good with it.
Exactly.
So I think that's kind of sums it up.
Right. Yeah. I can only talk as a parent of someone there, and it's hard. It's hard because of the deployments. But you had, he had a lot of deployments. It seems like too. But
right, and that was hard for his family. So his mom, his dad, his siblings. So that's it's, you're the wife, but then it's like you have to support the family too. Right. And support him. He had a business. He was a part-time Marine, which to me is like, how are you a part-time Marine? You're like a full-time Marine, right? Always, but he had a business, and he lost that business. So a lot of people forget that these guys have a life at home.
That's right.
Their customers couldn't wait. They wanted to give this young Marine their service and their business, and he just couldn't do that. So imagine serving, you're busy over there, and then coming home. So my job was just to be a solid person who did the right thing. So I picked up and left that area where we were living in Northeast Connecticut, and we went back to the Middletown area, and I just knew there was more opportunities there.
Right.
And when he came home, we had a home. And then we started to apply for jobs, and we just kind of did that. And a lot of Marines don't have that. A lot of military guys don't have that. So that's tough if you don't have someone that's able, willing to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
yeah. Well, thank you for you're supportive, and it shows in everything you do. Not just that, but having known you this past year, you're always there serving others, which I think is a beautiful thing.
We try. So.
You are. You are. And Rohe. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So tell people you're a sophomore now at the high school. But I know there's a lot of other stuff you're doing. So
Yeah.
tell me, and also this young man, it's amazing. He is part of the Veterans Commission. That's how I first met him when I went there. To tell them, this is what I wanted to do, is bring this tribute wall here, and that's where, and I was very impressed. Oh, there's a high school kid here,
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that, Roy. How did you get involved with all that?
I mean, mainly I got involved with my dad. I mean, I just want to show the veterans how they, the light they deserve, and like to really show them off, like how they truly, I mean, they gave us the ultimate sacrifice, and like words can't really describe it, what they deserve. I mean, they deserve so much more, and we already do a lot, but there's just another level, and that's just what I wanted to bring and joining, so
Right.
I was happy to do that with you.
Right, and what is there's something going on that you're going to be doing when you graduate. What is it, and what are you doing now?
I'm part of the Eagle Sea Cadets, so I'm hoping to apply to military academies when I'm older, like West Point, Merchant Marine Academies, the Naval Academies, so.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Isn't he great? Isn't he great? I'm telling you. Yes, I'm so proud of you. Great
Thank you.
job. Yeah.
Thanks, Dorena.
And like I said, it's been great seeing you, seeing what you do, and your passion for
Yep.
it. I know your dad, is a Marine, but still the passion, I think,
Yeah.
you have that in your, from both of them, you have
Yeah.
that passion inside of you.
Thank you.
So yeah, I'm so proud of you. Great job.
Thanks, Dorena.
Yeah. And here we come. We're coming to the big guy. So Dave, tell us, how did you end up even signing up to be a Marine? How did that all happen?
So I grew up with the era of the combination of World War II grandparents and Vietnam parents/grandparents. So military service was something that was big in, the area I grew up in. A lot of my friends, all grew up with it. Their fathers were all, service members. So it was something that was instilled to me at a young age to really have that pride in your country and, have that service of your nation,
Right.
which I thought was huge. In high school, I wasn't kind of the best student,
Yeah.
so I was going to go full-time Marine Corps. But at the time, I was working for a construction company, and by the time I hit senior year, I was running crews for them. So they kind of talked me into, hey, if you join the military, you're going to be gone for 4 years, and we really can't afford to lose you, plus we see you taking over the business. So I scaled back and decided to join the Marine Corps Reserves. This is 98, so it was peacetime America back then. So I joined the Marine Corps Reserves, got attached to a Motor T unit out of Providence, Rhode Island, and it was an absolute blast. So, it's the 1 week in a month, 2 weeks a year. You got to maintain the Marine Corps standards throughout the year, but, that was the time of our service. In 2003, in typical Marine Corps fashion, they called me on a Friday and said, hey, report to the unit Monday, you're going to Iraq. And I was like, I just became partners in this business, like, holy cow. So Monday we went to the unit, they gave us our orders, we got all our equipment that week. They attached us to 1st TSB out of San Diego, or Camp Pendleton. Spent the week there getting more gear, and then we were gone.
No other training in between? No.
Nope.
Just,
No, and for us, they didn't do any
And you were reserve.
extra or special.
You were reserve.
Reservist.
Yeah.
So as soon as we hit the ground running. For my first tour, the first part of my service was unloading all the MPF ships with everybody's gear, getting it all out to the different units so that way everybody had everything. And then the night of the invasion, we went up to the breach point and kind of just pushed from there to Baghdad and back and forth nonstop
Yeah.
until I came back home in July of that year.
Yeah. It's funny because, like you said, you're reservist. They say it's time to go, you go.
Yep.
I had one reservist and one full-time Marine. My full-time Marine was always training. My reservist was like, okay, we're going to send you to Oklahoma for a month, and then you're going, or something like that, And I'm like, how the heck did he learn all this stuff this full-timer was learning in, 2 years? I was like, how does this work, So I'm always intrigued on that, like how, it's like you got to go.
Yep. So when I got home in 2003, I wound up buying the business outright. So I got home in July by September, I had bought the business. I just met Christina. We obviously fell in love. She's been tolerating me for that long, so it's been a good thing. And then, what was it, July of '04? Right after we got engaged, they called me up again with no notice saying, hey, I know it's Friday, but report here Monday, you're going back.
It was the same day too, like that Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a completely insane feeling because I had just started like an adult life.
Yeah.
You know, I was a business owner, freshly engaged, ready to start adulting, and it was like, holy cow, we're doing this again. So that Monday I went back to the unit and we did all the mobilization stuff, getting our orders cut, getting our gear together. And that Friday, the first sergeant pulled me and 2 other Marines aside and said, hey guys, guess what? Because your end of contract is going to happen during this deployment, you don't have to go, but I need to know right now whether you're going or not. And he did it in front of the whole formation, in front of the whole company, so we're kind of like, oh my God. So one of my closest friends was there, so I looked at him, he looked at me, and he said, we can't let them go without us.
Yeah.
And the third guy, he kind of said, yep, I'm done. 1 deployment was enough. I'm good to go. I'll see you later.
Yeah.
So, you know, during that weekend before I hit the unit, we wound up getting married. You know, our family and friends were great, throwing, you know, a backyard wedding together for us on Gardner's Lake where my godfather lived. You know, he let us get married right on the water. Just happened to be a beautiful July day, not too hot. So it was really nice.
Yeah.
You know.
He also served in World War II,
Yep,
so he was.
and he
it
was a World War II
meaningful.
vet. So for us, it was really nice. And then again, it was one of those, I ship out to Camp Pendleton for a little bit. We were there for 2 weeks this time instead of 1, which was kind of nice. And this one was a little bit different because I wasn't going with my actual reserve unit.
Right.
They were attaching us to an active duty unit, and there was only 14 of the guys
Ah.
from my unit getting attached. So it was a very small contingent of us. So Christina, luckily enough, got to fly out and spend like 4 days with us.
Before you deployed.
We had an absolute blast out there. So we wound up getting attached to active duty unit. They called it CSSC 19. So we flew out to Al-Assad
Yep.
area of Iraq,
Yeah.
and that's where we started the second tour.
Yeah.
So it was good.
Yeah. Was it a 7-month tour also?
Yeah, until March.
Yeah,
7 months.
7 or 8 months. One of them was 8 months, one of them was 7 months. I
Yeah.
forget which was which.
Yeah.
So I was there, you know, I got to see from Al-Assad out to the Syrian border, to Tikrit, Baghdad, that whole Western Triangle that everybody
Yeah.
talked about, which was
Yep.
kind of wild, but also neat to see,
Yeah.
you know, the different stuff. You know, there's a lot of us veterans that can say we went to the birthplace of man where the 2 rivers meet, but
Yeah.
not a lot of Americans in general can say that. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
So then I got home from that deployment. Obviously, I couldn't run a business while I was gone, so I ate a little bit of debt, or quite a bit of debt, losing the business. But my second passion was I always wanted to be a police officer,
Yeah.
so it kind of gave me the kick in the butt to get
To
that
do it.
done. And entering my 21st year of that is kind of nice because I'm at the end of my career now.
That's right. Yeah.
So in 4 years, I can say, all right, I'm retiring,
That's right.
and I'll just be 50 years old. So it's kind
That's
of a
the
nice
best.
feeling.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Enjoy it and take advantage of that. you
Yep.
know?
So with the heartache came a little bit of goodness out of that too.
Yeah. Now, where are
which
you a
was
police
nice.
officer?
In a Hartford area town.
Hartford area town.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a secret. No, Hartford area town. Okay. And how long have you been an officer, you said? 20?
This will be my 21st year.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. Nice.
So within 6 months of coming home from my second deployment, I got hired.
That's
So
great.
it was a nice, quick turnaround, but nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I didn't have too much lag time.
Did you? So it was no more because when you came out, that was the end of it. It's not like you had to re-up
Nope.
because you were going. It's just
No,
finish
my
it.
contract was over, so as soon as I got
Just go.
home, we took,
Pack up.
I think, a month to demobilize,
Yep.
and that was it. I was done.
Good.
So then I had to,
Good.
you know, find a new career and start a new job. So we got it
Yeah.
done rather quickly, I think.
Yeah. Were you already a teacher at that point?
Yeah, I
or
was. I
you
was a
weren't?
teacher when I met him,
Were
so
you?
I was already teaching for a couple of years.
Oh, good.
So I was already, kind of established in my career and knew that. But during that time, I don't think a lot of people know that it's hard to get services, right? So like Dave was like, I don't know where to go. Like I don't have a job. Do I go to unemployment? I had a business, so that was really tricky to maneuver. I don't think people realize that when you come home, you're just like
You
have to get used to real life, and so I'm teaching, I'm going on with my own day, and so that's tricky.
Yeah.
But we figured it out, and but those are the things. That's the tough stuff, And Dave's he's like such a positive person all the time. He's like, listen, I take experiences. This is something I wanted to do, and he serves. He just serves the country. He serves towns. And so that's, it's so admirable.
Right.
So I can't even, I'm the one that's like in the back scene kind of saying like, hey, but you have to get services or you have to do this.
Yeah.
And so even with the Veterans Commission, he kind of, it kind of fell in his lap when I was running for the Board of Education. And someone's like, hey, do you want to be part of the Veterans Commission? So I have to give credit to Kenny Lesser.
Right.
And so I went to a Veterans Commission meeting in his place to make sure that they knew that he was really serious. So I took notes, and then he went. We met some great veterans. We've become friends with one of them who's, a Vietnam vet, and we got to spend Christmas with him because he doesn't have that much family, and we've, done different things with him, and it's just been really nice to have that brotherhood, and he's just kind of become part of our family. So it's that's been really cool, and then serving veterans in our town and kind of giving back to the community because Dave served. He's an officer, yes, but like we're serving our community in Wethersfield, and that's been really important for us to do that.
Yeah.
Working with you on the wall, that's just brought us so much joy. Meeting everyone, it's just been great.
Yeah,
and
it
that's the
was,
part that's that I think once you have that inside of you, then you kind of share it in other ways.
Look what I'm doing now.
I know, it's just really neat. I'm like, we're going to this interview, but I think people need to hear that. That's why you're doing this this special video, right? It's to tell people that these people have served. They didn't always have to serve. Yes, there's benefits to it, but you're giving back to people, and then you're just honoring them. You're sharing stories. Something might resonate with you, and someone that maybe didn't get through that marriage. It's hard to be married to someone that has served. Dave makes it easy. He really does. He's someone that's very open to things, but not every veteran is. No. Dave has had to get up and help veterans who were having a hard time. They are, they're fighting addiction, and so Rohi knows that. Rohi and I have been like, okay, go do what you have to do, and Rohi's done that since he was little, so that's hard.
Yeah.
But that's what you do. You do that for people, and that's kind of like the other side. So that's the realistic side. Dave will be like, that's just what I do. But that's really like the yin and yang of us and working. But you have to hear both sides of things because it's tough.
You do, right? And that's what a lot of people, and that's what I like about this, that we can show that, just like you said. And a lot of people don't realize it. They think, oh, if there's all that stuff waiting for you when you come home, everything's fine. Yeah. We all gave you a parade when you came, or whatever.
No, it's true.
You're fine. There's a lot of things, and maybe it doesn't show up now, but it could show up a year from now, 2 years from now, or something will trigger something.
Yes.
So it's just in meeting the people we were able to meet.
Right.
You just can't. You can't find that anywhere else. So it was a very special time. Like I said, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have met you.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Right. No.
Especially young people need to hear too that if you want to serve, I think there's a lot of people that kind of look down on it. And as a teacher, I get a chance to tell kids like, hey, maybe you can go do this. I mean, maybe you could become someone who's in the trades. Not everyone's going to go to college and do these things. There's a lot of people that don't really respect the fact that some people served, and I try not to let it bother me because you have to be neutral. But it takes a special person to serve. Right. And we need people to serve.
Absolutely.
I mean, other countries have people that serve, and so
it's mandatory.
It's mandatory, and so men have to sign up for the draft. And I even have those discussions. Like women don't really have to, right? So that's in a world of 2026. So the kids are like, "Oh man, this is a different perspective, Ms. Williams." And I said, "Yeah, it is." Yeah. So I have passion for it both, and I understand if someone doesn't want to, and I also understand if you want to.
Right.
I respect both opinions, but I've lived the other side of being with someone who served, and so that's. And if Rohit does decide to do that, he already knows that I support him, or if he changes his mind with that. But
Right.
but the fact that he's even serving through the Eagle Sea Cadet program and then volunteering, it's just,
Absolutely.
I'm so proud. I really am.
Me too.
So, yeah, yeah. So
No, he really is.
No.
It's great. It's great to see.
yeah.
And that was the whole thing, is like you just wanted the younger generation to understand. And he had it firsthand, which is beautiful, you know. And like I said, just like I told you guys, what I said in the beginning, they're right there. They're the family. They're right there. So quickly, how did you feel when, I'm going to ask Rohit, how did you feel when you saw the walk all up and on display like that?
I mean, honestly, like, obviously I've seen photos of it online and stuff, but it was, like, it honestly hit me really hard, and, like, it was just a shock to the system. Like, it was just really moving, and, like, I know I may not have anybody, like, that was in Vietnam, or, like, but I know people that are, like, my mom was saying earlier, like, Rick Newell, like, he's, like, my grandfather now, and, like, I don't really have one necessarily, and he was just able to do that for me, so it's, like, really cool. I just felt, like, this pride and, like, proudness that they were able to do that, and I was just happy, like, even though they're on that wall, like, they're still there with us, and they were still in the cove with us that day. So
yeah, it was nice, and I had said it on one of the podcasts earlier. It's like you say their names, they're not gone. Just you say their names, they're
Keep
still
their
here
memory
with us.
alive.
Exactly, they're still here with us. So, you know, I'm very thankful for you guys.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you for
very
the
much.
opportunity.
yeah.
So thank you again, and I'm excited for our next chapter to honor veterans. So now I want to leave this for all of our service members. I found this today, so bear with me as I read this to you. Thank you, though it feels too small. You carried what most never will, stood where many can't, and gave part of yourself so others wouldn't have to. I see it, I remember, and it matters. And I would like all of you, please keep our troops and their families with what's going on in Iran. Keep them in your prayers. Let's keep them safe, and may they all come home soon. So if you would like to know how you too can bring the tribute to your town, you can email me at dfederici.aft@gmail.com. You can visit our Facebook page, America's Freedom Tribute. And also we have the YouTube channel now, America's Freedom Tribute, and you can see all these podcasts there. And in a few days, this one should be up there. And I really want to thank everybody for listening, and I want to, especially the Williams family. And I know you're going to love watching this podcast. They are a special family, so thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
And thank you for listening. And remember, veterans' voices matter today and every day. So until next time, bye.